Welcome to the Woodpreneur podcast, the #1 podcast for the business and marketing side of the lumber, woodworking, hardwood flooring, and sawmill industry. I'm your host, Steve from Acres of Timber. Each week, we feature various wood business owners and entrepreneurs from around the globe. We share their stories, paths, insights so that you can network, learn, and grow your own wood business. Thank you so much for listening. Now enjoy the episode.
How you guys doing?
Welcome to the masterclass workshop. Why don't we just have some people announce where they're from here? I noticed a couple names
That look familiar. Couple clients.
Couple friends. What's up, Jesse? Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. Jeff, Jason, Jake.
Ray, Ryan.
If you can actually see could you type in the chat? If not, type in the Q&A. But yeah, I'm going to be going over the personal our personal branding workshop. I called it the Organic Lead Mastery. And so this workshop has been personally responsible for helping my clients generate millions of dollars. This particular set of like this particular skill. And so I'm going to go over everything today. And let's see. Can you guys just hear me? If you can you just put in the chat, like, yes, I can hear you, or in the Q&A, just type, yes, I can hear you. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me. Oh, you can hear me. Yes. Okay, great. What's up, Jeff? Awesome. All right, cool. So let me, yes, we can hear you. Yes. Okay, awesome. Chat is disabled. Yes. Thank you, Jason. All right.
So you know what?
Actually, before we get started, I would love to hear what is one thing that you want to make sure that you walk out of here with. Like, I just want to make sure that you know exactly, like, I'd like to help all of you guys get what you need. So can you just tell me what is one thing that you would like to get out of today? You could put it in the chat.
Let's hear it.
What do you want to hear most of?
Says chat.
Yeah, just put it in a Q&A, Jesse.
How to create a good
email campaign. Oh, okay.
What else? And blog book.
How to learn how to generate leads.
Hey, Ryan,
I think you went through the first generation of this particular program. I think you did. And blog posts. Okay, cool. If let's get one more. Like, what do folks want to get out of here?
One more. Latest tips and tricks.
It seems as soon as you master something, the game changes a bit. With tech advances in tech, it's never a one and done. But yeah, it very much is. It very, very, very much is a continuous journey. So I'm going to go through this personal branding. So we're going to go until 8 o'clock. We'll see how much we can get through. But either way, you're going to get a lot of value out of this. And at the end, I'm going to make you an offer if you're not already a client. I think there's a couple people in here that aren't clients. As a new business without clients, how do I gain trust? Yeah, you know what? We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about
that, Cody. And Jesse, I don't know if we're going to be able to have time. You see that's down here. It says advanced selling techniques. I think we might be able to get through that. So I'm going to go through. So again, module 1 is importance of personal branding. Module 2 is understanding your audience. Module 3 is building your online presence. Module 4 is content and value addition. Module 5 is differentiating your brand. Module 6 is trusting and building a community engagement. Module 7 is sales, marketing, and networking. Module 8 is additional resources. So here's the thing. I am recording this, and then I'm putting it in our new membership area. So we just launched the Woodpreneur Network, and the Woodpreneur Network is basically going to be everything that a woodpreneur needs in order to succeed. So I have, like a roadmap here. There's going to be a woodpreneur method. This is like a 3-hour course on basically if you were to get a degree in marketing, like it would be in this course. This personal branding, this is what I'm recording now. It's going to end up in here. This is we have an old version, but this is the very, very new version. I haven't updated this in 3-4 years, and people are still making lots of money with this content. So this is a new version of it. We have our 10K and 15-day sprint. We have some success stories. And then I also have a branding sprint. So this is like things to do to get your brand out there in 15 days. So people have gotten more deals, more projects, people have gotten in the press. And then, but we'll be building here. So like, I'm going to be working with Jennifer and Ancestry. We're going to have a community just for sawmills. We'll have one just for furniture. So it's going to be great. So everything that you possibly need. And right now, so we just launched last week. So right now we have 20 members. Imagine when you have like a ton of amazing woodpreneurs, everybody, like, this is going to be super robust, and it's everything that you're going to need. You're going to get like discounts to things. We're going to do events. It's just going to be great. So you want to join. This is where the replays will be. We have a deal right now where it is, you pay by the week, actually. It's $25 per week for the first, 15 members. These are all my coaching clients that are part of the network now, but the next 15 people can get in at half price. All right, so let's get started with this personal branding thing. All right, if you guys are ready, just type 1 in the Q&A. Just type 1 in the Q&A if you're ready to get started.
And you know what?
Feel free to just use the Q&A to like just write down like highlights, things that you're like, aha, this is new. Like, I've never heard this before. Like, if you could just do that for me, that would be really, really impactful. All right, thanks. And because I can't see you, it just makes it harder to feel the energy from you folks. All right, so Module 1, Introduction to Personal Branding for Woodpreneurs. So I would also say too, just for this, like, you can just listen to me, take notes, take screenshots of this, things that I'm highlighting, but I'm going to read through this. I'm going to present, I'll go off script, what have you. And then I'll, do some screen shares to give you examples, but primarily I'll be like teaching off of this, but going off script. So you could just, view me. And if you see something that I'm highlighting, then, you could take a screenshot, or sometimes I'll just tell you, just take a screenshot of this. All right. So in this, we're going to talk about amplifying your business growth, client relations, and cost efficiency. So like when you have a personal brand, it carries with you wherever you want to go, right? Like, it helps grow your business because your personal brand serves as like a beacon. It brings opportunities, not just within the wood industry, but outside, right? Like, if by having a personal brand, like, it opens up way more opportunities. And so this is the part, it's really, really hard for people to grasp their head around, is because what they normally think of is like, hey, I got a business, I'll rely on word of mouth, and and people will refer, and then that's it. And my answer to you is, the world has changed, and it is more competitive, and you have to just continue to put yourself out there, right? The other thing is, having a brand helps you connect with people, right?
So for
Most of you, there's a reason why you're here. You connect with me. We may not come from the same background. We don't have anything, but there's something about what I'm teaching and the way that I speak that allows you to connect with me. And so that's what having a personal brand does. A personal brand allows you to connect to your ideal audience. The other thing is authenticity and personal connection. A personal brand is about just being yourself. That's the biggest, that's the honestly the biggest part. It's like oftentimes when you start a business, you think like, hey, you know what? I need to be somebody else. I need to be this button up professional person. But like, no, if you got a big beard, you got tattoos, you're religious, like, you know what I mean? Like you put God front and center. If that's what you want to be part of it, like then you'll attract those people to you, right? And then the fourth thing is leveraging Facebook for reach and engagement, right? So, look, we want to emphasize that we're using Facebook, your personal page. So, this is my personal page, right? So, your Facebook personal page, I'm not going to repeat myself again, but there's going to be somebody that's going to ask, what about my business page? I'm like, you're going to build your personal brand on your Facebook personal page.
okay, and this.
All right, I'll explain more. Because it's about harnessing the platform's extensive reach to share your story, showcase your work, and engage a broader audience, right? So when we developed this program,
you want to learn
how to identify and empathetically connect with your ideal audience, understand what their needs and how your skills and your products and your services can fulfill them. The second thing is when you leverage your personal Facebook page, you can use storytelling, like content creation and community building. Like this page right here has generated millions of dollars for my business and have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, actually millions of dollars for charity just because of my personal brand, right? And so, and what it does is helps differentiate you, because when you have a personal brand, it's like you're able to connect with people that are different than you, that are in your same town. And if you authentically put yourself out there and show what makes you unique and allows you to show your unique selling proposition, it will help you resonate with your ideal audience. And so the biggest thing really is trust and credibility. The more you show up, the more consistent you are. It's like this is your storefront, right? It is your virtual storefront. And then we're also going to talk about how to streamline your branding efforts, what kind of tools and techniques to use. All right, module 2 is understanding your audience. So this is the biggest thing, honestly, about personal branding, is that you got to reframe your mind. So as a woodpreneur, you want to show that like you're like leveraging Facebook's platform. So like, I'll give you an example. Somebody would say, if I wanted to sell hot dogs, how can I sell it? And I heard this example from somebody, and somebody was like, hey, maybe I make the cheapest hot dog, or maybe I make the best tasting hot dog, or maybe I make sure that I have the best ingredients or the best toppings. And the answer is no to all of that. You know what the answer is? Put your hot dogs, sell your hot dogs on the busiest corner in the busiest city of the world. And that's exactly what your Facebook personal page is, right? There's like 1 billion people on it, right? It's an expansive marketplace. Lots of people have gotten success from it. You just have to like reframe your mind to think that like, all right, my Facebook personal page right here, like I know that most of my friends are like people that I went to high school with, or my aunts and uncles, or my cousins, or what have you. Like, no, get that all out of your head and say, this right here is the biggest marketplace in the world,
and I'm going to use it
for business.
That's it. Like, if you're
Not okay with that, like, you should really just hop off this call, because I really want you to just understand that, right? Facebook is your digital workshop. So think of your Facebook personal page as your digital workshop. It's where your ideal customers discover your skills, your creations, and like you personally. Like, your task is to make your presence known and felt.
going to highlight this,
Your task is to make your presence known and felt. Many clients have said, "Hey, you know what? I'm not getting enough leads. I'm not getting enough
I'm not getting enough
leads. I'm not getting enough clients." Like, it's because nobody knows that you exist. Literally, nobody knows that you exist, right? If your friends list is like 300 people, that's it. That's as big as of a list that you can have. That's your selling audience. And imagine if you didn't even have a mailing list, if you don't have any of that sort of stuff, like, yeah, of course you're not making any money, because nobody knows you. This is especially effective on a personal page, where organic reach can be more potent than on a business page, right? Here, you're going to learn how to showcase your work, tell stories, and make your Facebook page an extension of your workshop. The other thing is that you want to shift from social to marketing. Your personal Facebook page is more than a social space. It's a marketing asset. This mindset shift is going to be crucial for you. We're going to talk about how to integrate your professional life with personal stories, sharing your journey, your inspiration, your process behind your creations. And this approach not only appeals to your brand, but also connects deeply with your audience. Like, again, we're going to keep talking about this stuff, but I really want you to grasp this. Next is, like, you're here to add value. As a woodpreneur, your goal is to build an audience by adding value. It's not just about, like, just sharing your woodworking. It's like, the idea is to build a community around yourself. Share your stories, and you'll learn how to create content that not only showcases your work, but tells a story behind each one. The other thing is that people want to know about you. So this is the biggest, I mean, honestly, everything's big here, but, like, whenever I think about woodpreneurs, like, woodpreneurs are very private, right? You don't want to brag, you don't want to boast, you don't want people to, like, know more about, you don't want to put your business out there. That's what I found most with woodpreneurs. And so, but I would just challenge you to be like, hey, you know what? If you share more what's going on in your life and in your business, you will resonate more. I've even found for myself personally, when I share stuff that's happening or has happened, and it's usually has happened, and how I've overcome them, or the lessons that I've learned in business and in life, and as a father and as a husband and as a leader, like, you wouldn't believe how credible it makes me with the people that follow me, and people want to do business with me because I'm able to put myself out there like that. And I would also say that, like, vulnerability is like a superpower, and it is the ultimate way to connect to people. Jesse said, what if you have more followers on your business page versus personal page? Just get more friends on your personal page. That's it. The only, and you know, this is the part that is going to answer your question, is that Facebook is advantageous for personal branding, especially in the woodworking world. It's because you can have 5,000 friends and unlimited followers. So you can build a network that it closely aligns with your ideal target base. So this is what we're gonna show you here. It's like, imagine if all of your friends, and I've been doing this myself, like, I've been working on this, where, look, I mean, if I go here, I don't think I can see my friends list. Let's see, friends. You know, there's the So look, I go here and I can
Edit friends
list. And look, I can add them to my Woodpreneur list. And I have a list of all of these people. So imagine you could put all of your ideal customers in a list like that. I mean, that's literally the most powerful thing. Imagine if all of your friends were your ideal customers. That's what I'm talking about. You can't do that with a Facebook business page. In fact, Facebook wants you to advertise to the people that like your page, right? All right. So now we're going to talk about identifying your ideal client. Hey, so up until the past, I never used Facebook. I'm putting myself out there, and my wife and I do not want to put our kids on the internet because my profile is public. Suggested don't put your kids out there. Only show your kids to your friends and family. That's it. Like there's so much that you can do with, with Facebook. There's so much you can do with Facebook. Like you don't have to show your family. Don't show your family. Show the back of their heads. Every obstacle is an opportunity to do something new and to get creative. But like, yeah, that's so far. I mean, give me 3 highlights of what you've gotten from it from the first 10, 15 minutes. What give me a highlight.
Give me a highlight. Keep putting yourself
out there. Yep. Let's get one more. Don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Yep.
Cool. All right, section 2.
So we're going to talk about how to identify your ideal target audience. All right, who wants to understand how to get their ideal target audience? Type 1.
Type 1 if you want to
know. Yep.
1. All
right.
So in this
crucial section, we're going to talk about how to identify your ideal target audience in woodworking, construction, custom furniture. So let's start looking at who were your last 5 clients, right? Who were your last 5 clients? What were the common characteristics that they share? Were they homeowners? Were they businesses? Right? Like, think about that. Because if you start looking at your past 5 customers, there's probably something in common with all of them, right? And then consider, where do they live? Are they in urban areas? Are they in rural areas? Think about their lifestyle. What kind of car they drive? What's their home like? What are their hobbies?
Are they hunters? Are they into college
football? Right? A lot of these details help in understanding your preferences and needs, right? And so I don't know if you guys know, but whenever I speak about woodpreneurs and woodworkers and sawyers, you can tell that I've spent a lot of time understanding, right? And really, it's like 35 to 55. I'd say 95% of you are male, and a lot of you live in not in urban areas. And if you're a sawyer, there's I know what kind of mill that I can kind of tell what type of person you are based off of the mill that you bought. If you're a woodworker, I can kind of tell based off of the type of furniture that you build, right? Like there's all these things, but you almost need to fall in love with your ideal client and really look at your past 5 clients, right? Also, is the demographic and psychographic. Are they middle-aged? Are they wealthy? Are they cost-effective? Right? Are they younger folks looking for eco-friendly, sustainable? What's their financial capability? Right? Building an ideal customer profile should include their age, their name, their income level, lifestyle choices, values, especially as they pertain to the products and services that you're going to offer. And so for stuff like renovation, lumber, consider clients that are, what kind of lumber would they buy, right? Are they buying kiln dried? Are they buying green, right? Like, think about that. For lumber sellers, target people who appreciate quality and durability and consistency, right? Those are important as well. So one thing that I want you to do is to start thinking about your ideal customer profile. And so this is the part of the thing where I want you to take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of,
Tell me, take a screenshot.
if you're already a client, do not worry, you're going to get this. But if you're not a client, take a screenshot, and then when you take a screenshot, type done. All right. And then I'll move on to the next section. Type done if you're not a client and you've taken a screenshot.
Okay.
Cool. All right. And then I think this is another part of just take this screenshot
With this. And then type
done when you're done. Done. All right.
Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. So section 4.
So understanding the woodpreneur niche and market. So in this section, we're going to talk about market analysis, personal branding assessment, service offerings, and community involvement. All right. So building your online presence. So what you want to do is what we want to do is leverage social media for branding. And again, we're going to focus on Facebook. Facebook as a branding tool has 2.8 billion active users. I thought it was 1 billion. It's 2.8. That's crazy. So let go of the mindset of separating personal from business on Facebook. People want to know what kind of people that they are buying from, right? And so remember, your Facebook profile is more than a social account. It's a digital face of your business. It's like a physical store designed to attract and welcome customers to your ideal profile. So I'm going to say this: no negative, no controversial or political posts if you want to make money.
If you're watching this
and you've had any of these negative, controversial, or political posts, I would suggest that you go back and clean those up, right? Whenever I see anybody and they have they hate the president, they hate this, or they put some conspiracy theory out there, whether you believe it or not, and whenever I see somebody with that, you know what I always say? They are broke. Because seriously, people they just, nobody wants to attract that. Nobody wants to do business with somebody like that. So at least if you're on here and you've got that point, can you just type got it? Just got it, just so I can just make sure that all of you understand, no negative, no controversial, no political posts on Facebook. Got it. Yep. I don't care what your beliefs are. Just don't put it out there like that. Just because you could turn off a lot of people. When you're like a gajillionaire and you don't care, but if you're in the building phase where you just want to make money and build a strong, positive community, and that's the thing. It's look, controversy sells, but not when you are in the building phase of your brand. Unless you literally have tapped into an audience of people that have the same businesses, same beliefs as you, and they're paying you money. If they're not paying you money, then don't put your business out there like that. All right. Okay. The other thing is understanding Facebook's algorithm is key to maximizing your reach. Posts that generate interactions such as comments, likes, and shares tend to be favored. So engage with your audience by responding to comments, creating interactive posts, and showing appreciation. So this is super important. Take a screenshot of this if you're not in the program. And when you finish taking a picture, just say done. This is the cheat code right here. Cheat code. Post happy birthday on everybody's birthday it is. Respond to every comment on your post. Comment on their post, offering solutions and recommendations on their posts or in group pages, and be personable. This is it. All right. All right, cool. The biggest thing that I want you to know is that 80% of your posts will be personal. 20% will be business related. 80% personal, 20% business. So what does that mean? So imagine like you're a television show, right? So like you know, you're Woodpreneur,
television show.
right?
And on a television
Show, it's 80%
the show and 20%,
commercials.
and then the
Show is you,
your life,
funny memes, like lessons, videos, like just like all of those things. So it's just like you are your own television show. And it just so happens to be on your Facebook personal page.
Does that make sense? That makes sense?
All right.
So
That's what I want you to think of. And then the second thing is
consistency, right? So
consistency is not just about regularity. It's about playing with the algorithm. And you know what? I bet you some of you are like, you know what? This is so dumb. We're playing for like technology's sake. But like, it's no different than,
20,
30 years ago, the way you got a job was, you had to stand on the line and show up at a factory and hopefully you got a job that day, right? There was an algorithm back then. You had to get up early. You had to brave the weather. You had to make sure that you're on the line. Does that make sense? It's like, this is, at least you can do this from the comfort of your home. And at the very least, what you're doing is building your own brand and building something that you are, it's going to feed your family, right? And so when you post consistently, the algorithm recognizes your content as valuable, thereby increasing its reach to your audience. So this doesn't mean posting frequently, but posting content that resonates with your audience. Think about every time that you put out, think about the content that makes you stop and read and look at your content and say, hey, look, am I creating the type of content that I would want to read myself? That's the way you have to think about it, right? And it's about finding the right balance between quantity and quality. And your post should reflect your brand, your projects, your journey, your insights, your stories, right? It helps build a connection to your audience. Regular updates about your work, sharing successes and challenges. And then also, it helps build a digital narrative of your brand. Over time, your audience gets a good view of your business, your work, your values. And that's why you want to make it public, right? You want to make it public. So we're going to delve deeper into like creating a content calendar and understanding the times for maximum engagement. So did you guys, so I just want to see, just question check. How are folks feeling so far? We're maybe about 40 minutes into this.
Are you getting some
value from this? I just want to get a gut check. Like what are you learning so far? Thanks, Jennifer. I'm a fan of yours always myself. So all right, who else? What else are you getting from me? We're gonna go into how to optimize your profile next. You have offered great tips as always. All right, thank you, Cody. All right, so now we'll talk about how to optimize your profile. All right, so one is you want to have a professional photo and cover photo. You want to craft a bio
and an intro. Make sure that your
public settings are on. You have links and you have photos.
So I'm going to
show you an example. So I think some of you guys know Allison. She's a client. She's taken this methodology so far and has perfected it for her own self.
So if you
Follow her, if you end up friending her, please do not copy her post. Please do not copy her post.
model it,
Just do your own thing, but please do not. I've had people literally copy her post verbatim, and that's not cool. So I'm just gonna let you know. All right. So look. So a picture of your work, a smiling picture of you,
a one-line
bio, owner of, and then pics of your work. That's literally it. So you see, for me, I got smiling picture. I got me and my wife. I got a header.
I don't build,
So I have to tell people what I do. I have a one-line bio. I help 6 and 7 figure woodpreneurs scale by branding. And then I got some pictures. My pictures are not optimized. But then I also have an intro post, and this is a pin post that tells people all about myself. I'll show you. This is Justin. He's another client. He's another person that has perfected this, taken his business to 50K a month. And so he's got, again, the picture. He's got a picture. He's got the cover photo. He's got the one line intro. And then he's got a pin post.
that says exactly
Who he is.
dogs convert
Really well. Dogs can make you money. So if you have a cute dog in a picture, always convert. Okay. So yeah, so that's it. The and this is very simple. Very simple. Make sure that you have your smile, and it's got to be like a smiling picture of you. No sunglasses, like, you know, not trying to cover I can't tell you how many times I've seen people, like, if you look at a profile photo and it's all colored and it's not clear, or I've seen even people in like some of these woodworking groups, these guys, they have like zero photo on it. I'm like, you're just like, you don't care about money, like, or you're a creep, right? So just like put your face out there. How is anybody going to do business with you unless they know what you look like? So again, this is a good example. So if you sell lumber, put lumber. If you make furniture, put your furniture. If you do built-ins and accent walls, just put that there. All right. And make sure the picture is smiling at you, and then one line bio. So the content strategy. So this is what we're going to talk about. So you got to craft your story and your unique selling proposition. So what should I post? So in this section, we're going to focus on variety of and balance of your content. The business is a part of you, but it's not your whole story. It's crucial to take a balance and aim for the 80-20 split. 80% personal, 20% business. This approach allows you to connect to your audience, right? So here's some pillars.
So one
is
your woodworking business.
Share insights from your projects, stories. You know what? You probably want to highlight this as well. Take a screenshot of this.
When you've taken a
screenshot, just say done.
Cody's asking.
More on Facebook over Instagram. Cody, come on, man. Facebook, this is what I'm talking. I mean, when you've you can post all of your business stuff that you post on your Facebook personal page, post it on Instagram. And then all of your personal stuff, post it in the stories on Instagram. Well, I'll probably do another thing just on Instagram, but this is only on your personal Facebook page.
All right. And you know what? I don't think I
accurately
sort of talked about the science
and the methodology. Do you guys understand why I say the personal Facebook page?
You understand,
like, technically why?
All right. Nobody's
saying anything. Done. I just want to double check. So look, here's the thing. Here's the reason. The reason is that when we're friends, right? So you and I are friends, right? I see you, I see your stuff, and you see my stuff. It's a dual connection. However, if on Instagram or on Facebook business page, if you follow me and I don't follow you, you sometimes see my stuff and I never see your stuff. So if we're friends on Facebook, it's a mutual connection, it's a mutual relationship. Does that make sense? And so, therefore, if I engage on your stuff and you engage on my stuff, when we open up each other's feed, or God forbid, I send you a direct message and I'm like, hey man, that's cool looking table that you just made. Oh, that's awesome thing that I see our kids go to the same school. Like, now when we open up our feed, Facebook now says that, like, oh, show each other more stuff. And it's, again, this dual connection. Does that make sense to everybody? Does that make sense? I just want to make sure that that makes sense to everybody, just because it is literally, it's a hack. All it is, it's a hack. And the reason why is because Facebook business page, they want you to pay to advertise to the people that like your page. Instagram wants you to advertise to reach your own followers. But on your Facebook personal page, it is a very balanced, fair, and the easiest way for you to build an audience. Easy. Like, at least with my friends, I can literally go out and I can DM them. Like, all of these people here, at least my like, I talk to the most. All these people here, I talk to the most, right? And so, again, imagine if all of you, and you can have 5,000 friends, 5,000 friends. And imagine if all of your friends were the most important people in your town, your city, your state, your region, who could all be customers. That's the point. Right. You should friend every single developer, every single boat builder, every single contractor, every single woodworker in your county. Every single. You know why, Ray? Because you have something that they need. The thing about like the woodpreneur space is that it's like, woodpreneurs are, pretty closed off, pretty timid. They're private people. They don't want people in their business. They work super hard. You guys work super hard. But you know what? You guys can nerd out all day about wood and tools and mills and blades and kilns and flattening and pearl and burls. And, like, you guys can just go all day talking about that stuff. Am I right? Type 1 if I'm right. Type 1, right? So, like, that's really it. It's like, what you're gonna do, and that's honestly, as this is kind of the first time I'm like saying it like this, like, you have to play to the social aspect, because as a sawyer, as a furniture maker, whoever, like, if you can find people that resonate with your work, you should friend all of them. So, ground rules for posting: you got to be consistent. Work up to once or twice a day on posts, reels, stories. Like, if you want to go slow, then just, like, do stories, because then you post a story, you tell people what you're working on, and it is gone in 24 hours. That's how I worked up to it. Now we're going to talk about storytelling. So Jennifer asks, what are your thoughts on setting your personal page to professional mode? I have creator mode on business pages, but I'm not sure what pro mode on my pages. That's a good question, Jennifer, about so I'm thinking no on professional mode. Here's why. Because I feel like once you hit professional mode, then it puts you into the class of where you could where they start to throttle your reach, because you're like a professional. And therefore, I think I would rather rely on the organic aspect and creating really great content to connect with my audience. So I would say no to professional mode. That's what I've seen a lot of like business marketer creators that are leveraging Facebook. They are not doing professional mode. It can change in 3 to 6 months, but like no for now. All right. Is that helpful? That's what I was worried about. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, it's like it's kind of like when you turn professional mode on, it tells Facebook, you're like, hey, look, you're using Facebook for business. Let's make them pay. And so like I don't want to do that. I would rather just because the other thing too is I know people that have monetized their pages from their reels, and their organic kind of diminishes, but they get reels money. I don't think you can get real money now. Like you were getting paid, people were getting paid for reels. Okay, section 2. Storytelling and woodpreneurship isn't just about sharing. It's about this is honestly the biggest thing. I always say everything's the biggest thing. You got to establish your brand voice, and you have to. It's like one of those things that the more you build, the more you mill, the more you do whatever, you just get better at it. So when you put yourself out there and you tell more stories or even just document what you're doing, like again, I'm gonna talk to Ray right here. Like just turn the camera on yourself and just say, this is what I'm doing right now. This is the next thing that I'm doing right now. And then you show it, right? Like same thing with you, Jake. Just like, this is what I'm working on right now. This is what I'm going to do today. And then you show the different examples. Here's the thing is that at first, you're not going to get any audience at all. And it's going to be weird. Literally. So like when I did I did a podcast and I had a podcast guest on. You know that guy Blacktail Studio? Oh my God, I had Blacktail Studio on my podcast, totally going off script. When we got off the pod, this was the second time I had him on. I had him on almost 4 years ago. When I got off the podcast, he goes, hey, Steve, that was a really good interview. That was a really good interview. And he goes, that was way better than your first interview with me. And I was a terrible interviewer. I really was. I was a terrible interviewer. And so, but you're going to be terrible at telling stories, So like, I'm going to show you an example. I think you guys know. So Instagram.com/Olagunsolomon. So I think you guys know him, right? Jake. So Jake, I started working with him when he had 2,500 followers. And then, and I actually helped. So we didn't even do Facebook. We didn't do Facebook with his personal branding. We did Instagram because I was all about Instagram. It was easier to grow a couple of years, 3-4 years ago on Instagram than it was on Facebook. That's why I made the switch to Facebook. But look, if you go to Jake's, he tells stories every day. And he was telling me that when, years ago when we first started and I coached him on this whole the personal branding thing came because of my work with him. One of the things that we learned was that like, yeah, he was terrible at it. But I said, show up every day. Now he can like post in his stories that he's got lumber or a table for sale and then he'll sell it from his stories. Jennifer can do that. Jennifer Alger, she can do that on her. But like, it takes a lot to build up. You have to build up to that. And part of that is like, you just start to get your own flavor. You get to get your own, like being comfortable, just putting yourself out there. Right. I feel like I spend a lot of time helping you, like you, the woodpreneur, be comfortable with being yourself to make money. And that's half the battle. Half the battle is being able to like just literally be yourself and put yourself out there. So here's some qualities of good storytellers. They're consistent. They don't shy away from, they're bold. They don't shy away from unique or unconventional tales. They're authentic. They tell genuine stories. They're structured. So like, hey, this is what I'm going to do today. This is what I'm going to do next. This is what I'm going to do after that. And thank you so much for watching. So they just have like consistent structure. They're community minded, stories that resonate, and they're engaging, right? You know what? Let me see if I could show you Jarvis. He normally has, so Jarvis, he came to me, yeah, he's all work. I tell him not to, but it's working for him. Anyway, it's because he built a community of all of his friends. He built a community of like just all woodworkers, basically. So they don't mind looking at his stuff. But if you're a furniture person, your furniture people, your furniture clients don't want to see just your furniture stuff. They want to know more about you. It's different. Okay, so yeah, so I talked about storytellers. So I talked about Justin. He's like, hey, we have a Brody hen, and I heard that if you put a hen in a box and take her for a ride, it will cure her. Well, Deacon took that to heart and boxed her up and took her for a bike ride, wagon ride, and some other ideas that a 10-year-old mind goes through. The chicken is alive, well, and still Brody. So, like, again, I mean, look, 85 likes, 18 comments, but he just told a story about what happened with his kid. He didn't show his kid. I mean, sometimes he does show his kid, but like, and oftentimes too, again, everybody's personal choices, personal preference or whatever. But the thing that you're most likely afraid of is probably not going to happen, unless you've got some, some court thing or whatever. If you got some personal beliefs around putting your kid out there, completely understand. But I found that like once you start putting limits to like or conditions in which you operate in this world, it makes it really hard to just be and exist. Okay, big thing, document versus create. So sometimes you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to create. I don't know what to put out there. So just documenting, again, sharing your day-to-day activities, excellent for short-term daily content, gives your audience a real-time view of your woodworking journey. Focusing on creating original signature content. This is usually like YouTube, create about once a week, highlighting your work and your brand. Again, some examples like a good header, good photos, tell stories. This is go back to Allison. She shared, she hired a photographer. That's one thing that I would do if I were you, like hire a local photographer to come by and take some professional shots. And then the fact that they're taking professional shots of you shows your audience that you're taking your business seriously. And you could tell a story about how you're taking your business seriously and you've hired a professional photographer. You could talk about that. And then when the photography comes out, you could talk about that as well. Like everything's a story and an opportunity to talk about your business, right? So Allison said, I'm excited to share a sneak peek of photos, took of our family business. And then the other thing is that she shouted out her photographer, Jen. So like anybody you do business with locally, shout them out. That's more content. And then she tagged her. This is something that I'll teach you. Like if you collaborate with somebody, because this is technically a collaboration, you tag her, it ends up on her profile. Then her friends get to see Allison and her business's work just from content. All right. And look, even the photographer shouted her out. So we talk about is that all helpful for everybody? Because I'm going to talk about like the deep stuff right here. So what do you talk about? So the biggest thing really is you want to talk about where you're from. Like there's a place where you're at, like right here. And storytelling is about a journey to where you're going, right? And what you want to do is fill the steps that help get you to where you are now. And even though you're not an expert, you're still ahead of someone who hasn't even started learning yet. And I find this to be the case in my own sort of personal brand, is that like in my career, I've taken lots of risk and lots of chances, and I've done lots of things. And what I do is just like take people on the journey to what I've done, what I've experienced, and where I'm going. And so for you as a woodpreneur, you're like farther away from other people in terms of even, not to say other woodworkers or other woodpreneurs, but from your ideal audience, right? Like they're potentially buying their products and services not just because they need it, but people want to be able to bet on and support somebody on a journey. It's so different than buying lumber from it's so different than buying lumber from Home Depot, because you don't get to actually you're not getting to talk to Mr. Home Depot or know the mill that made it, right? It's the same thing with furniture, it's the same thing with accent wall, it's the same thing with everything. And so for you as a woodpreneur on this journey, on this path, what you really want to do is take people along. And it's usually around 3-4 topics that you can go deep on. And that's what your content should be based off of, right? So out of this is going to be like your why statement, right? And so your why statement is clear and straightforward. It's actionable. It focuses on contribution, and it's personally resonant. So like make sure that it aligns with your values. All right, so just some examples. I make tables because I want families to enjoy high quality, custom, thoughtfully crafted, constructed, functional art pieces crafted with my passion for woodworking. That's a mouthful, but basically you want to talk about the why you do this business. Whenever I do this with clients, or we do this with clients, where we help unlock like almost like their why is like their brand statement. It's like it's the reason why their business exists. And if you dig deep a little bit into your business, there's a reason why you do it. There's a reason why you went out and spent tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars on equipment. And it's not just because it was cool. It's not because you like this. It's like there's a reason why you did it. And you have to uncover that. Because if you don't do that, then it's going to make it really hard to show up every day. So when deciding on the topics, consider what led you to where you are today, right? So I can tell you, let's see, like one of my clients. So I mean, just as an example, Allison, I could say that her why was that she wanted to spend more time with her family. They were living in a part of New York where they weren't able to build their woodworking business. It was very difficult. Her husband had a job that he hated. And like actually through our coaching, they ended up moving to Connecticut, to a different part of I don't want to say I convinced them. I inspired them to look at other places. And next thing you know, they're selling their house and they got a bigger property. He's building, and then he just quit his job. She had a reason why she was doing this. She was doing the marketing, he was doing the building, right? So like you got to share that. Like, oh my God, if you're able to share the reason why, it's going to enable you to make even more money. And in the expertise level, even if you're not a top expert, your knowledge is valuable. So like literally share what you're learning. So depth over breadth. So like 3 to 4 topics that you can dive deep into. So it's like one is your woodworking, one it could be your family, one could be your faith, one could be whatever hobby that you're into or personal belief, stoicism, I don't know, like whatever it is. So that's one thing, is the why. And then what you want to do is utilize content prompts. So this is like the little cheat code. This is literally the cheat code. Is you could do polls, you could do things like this or that, you could do recommendations, opinions. One of the things that I tell people is like, ask what's your favorite Netflix show, right? So the thing is that I want to show you, with all this is, and I'm going to see if I can illustrate it right here for you. What you want to do is you want to have engaging content, and then your engaging content is going to get more attention and eyeballs to your profile. People will engage, and then when they engage more, they check out your business.
So content is like having a
busy highway,
and your
your Facebook page is the billboard.
does that make sense?
So everybody, does that make sense, everybody?
Yeah. Okay. So now,
Having a personal brand.
hey Ray,
Can you type your question in the chat, please?
so remember you're
Building a personal brand, not just a business page. So while it's important to talk about business 20% of the posts, the majority should focus on the person behind the brand. So
the next
thing is,
you know what?
I
I have 15
more minutes before I have to hop off, but I want to ask. Maybe I'll go through Q&A for now. Have you guys? I mean, before I go to Q&A, have you guys gotten a lot of value from? Was this a good use of your time?
Both. Is a good use of
Time, yeah. Okay.
All right, why
don't I just ask questions?
let's just ask some
Questions. Ray, do you have a question? You want to?
Let's see if I can get
Ray,
and keep this on a personal
page. I get something. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You guys can ask.
You guys can ask questions now. So here's the thing. Let me show you something really quick. I think let's see.
So I want to show you. So anyway, so
we are up to section 3. There's a lot more stuff here.
So we probably
did about halfway, and I think we did about halfway. So we did up to
here. So about
halfway through. So, before we go into questions, what I want to do is I'll show you,
if you wanted
to get the rest of this
course, go to woodnetwork.com and I will
send everybody in the chat. So if you join,
you can get
this course and the rest for $25 a week. This is for the first 15 people. So tell me if you guys, for those that aren't in the program, tell me if you got that in the chat. Can you tell me if you got that in the Q&A, if you got my chat? Who can see my messages?
So yeah, so
what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna record the rest of this probably tomorrow and then put it in the school community. So again, if you join here, this is going to be basically everything that you need in order to grow your wood business. This thing right here, the 10K and 15-day sprint, if you follow it to a T, folks have gotten, people have made lots of money. So this guy right here, he did it. He made $20,000 as a sawmill in 15 days. This guy builds furniture and sells lumber. He made $100,000 in 15 days. This woman here is a furniture maker. She made $12,000 in 15 days. In total, between it's probably around $300,000 between all of the woodworkers that have gone through this program, including clients of mine, and over 400 leads have been generated. You're going to get lots of leads. And so if you ever wanted to just grow your business, join this Woodpreneur network. You can you also get access to group coaching calls once a week with me on Wednesdays, and then you can network with all of the other members. One of the other people, there's just like so much value in this network. Somebody who needs to buy a mill, so one of the other members is going to sell it to him and he doesn't have to look at other places. And I'll tell you, one of the things that I truly am working towards is that I want you to get from your current situation and to get to your desired situation. And you need knowledge and you need execution, right? And so what's in it is that, like, I give you lots of knowledge from my podcast and my YouTube, but it's doing you a disservice. And so doing free things doesn't get you anything. You take action when you actually pay for stuff. And so your growth comes from learning and doing things fast. So my goal is to help partner with 100 different businesses that want to go from 5 to 10 to 50 to $100,000 a month. And I want to leverage this platform to do it, the Woodpreneur Network. And so you're going to get the Woodpreneur method, which is like literally a marketing course. You're going to get the 10K and 15-day sprint, and then personal branding course, which is what you did half of today. It's normally 49 US, but we have a special because we just started. It's 25 a week, right? And then again, you'll get weekly Q&A. So go to the link that I just shared with everybody, woodpreneurnetwork.com. And then that's it. So that's it for my pitch. I'll be doing other workshops on different things, selling, Facebook ads, Instagram, and then whenever I'm done with them, so I'll do them for free, or in the podcast, and then if you want the replay and the community, you'll just hop into this. So that's my pitch. All right. So I'll answer. What if you don't do projects every day? I do woodworking when I can, when I'm not able to do a full-time job. What am I supposed to post every day? I don't know if you missed the beginning. 80% of the post should be personal. So post what you're working on. So I don't know if that helps, David. Let me know if that answers your question. But yeah, you don't need to post every day because I know you have a full-time job and a family. But yeah, every day you're doing stuff every day. Take a screenshot of me and saying, hey, I'm on a business masterclass right now, and then post that. And then ask people, hey, what other professional development opportunities do you guys do in your own life? Cody says, when you were talking about posting our woodworking journey, does that classify under our 20%? My life, if mainly 20. Woodworking journey is definitely under, I would put that under personal. Because you're not overtly selling anything. Okay. What else, folks? What other questions do folks have? What else? What other questions you got? It could be anything. I mean, we got a couple minutes, so you can feel free to ask any other business questions. Anybody else with questions? What other questions do you have? All right. Is that it? I did such a good job. All right. All right. This last thing is, give me, for those that are left on here, give me 2 major things that you're going to walk away and actions that you're going to take based off of today. What are you going to do? How do you understand? Jake said, how do you understand who your ideal customer if you haven't had many? I'll answer that. But folks ask, what did you take away from this? And what action are you going to take next? That's what I want folks to write. Is the major takeaway, and what is one action you're going to take? I'm not going to do on my personal. Yes, don't do that. I'll review and optimize my personal page and work on identifying my ideal customer. Yes. Took away most of my customers are realtors, business owners. Yep. So now, Cody, I would say go out and find them. Literally go out and find them. I really need to be myself, plan to be myself by posting more stories. Yes. Jake, you just had a kid, right? How do you understand it? So here's the other part. If you don't have an ideal customer because you haven't had any, I would actually think about projecting your ideal customer. And your ideal customer lives someplace. So if you're a furniture maker and you're like, you know what, there's nobody around me that is like my ideal, then pick an expensive neighborhood that could afford your stuff, or an expensive county or a wealthy county, and just say, that is my audience. That's it. That's what I would do. Yeah, like you can pick your ideal audience. All right. All right. One more question. Oh, Cody, you did the 10K. You did the 10K thing. Oh, Cody, I know Cody. Cody, you should join the network. Yeah. Join the network. You'll make more money. All right. Who else? Okay. All right, guys. I'm gonna take off. Thank you so much. Reach out if you need anything, and I hope to see you in the Woodpreneur network.